For years, prolific producer Dan Schneider occupied a prominent place in the world of children's television throughout the late 90s and 2000s. Schneider and his Schneider's Bakery banner oversaw some of the best Nickelodeon shows of all time, such as Victorious and iCarly. Then, in March 2018, Schneider's time at Nickelodeon suddenly added amid allegations of horrible abuse and questionable treatment of the young stars who appeared on his show. Nickelodeon and our longtime creative partner Dan Schneider have agreed to not extend the current deal. Since Schneider's Bakery projects are wrapping up, both sides agreed that this is a natural time for Nickelodeon and Schneider's Bakery to pursue other opportunities and projects. In the immediate wake of Schneider's exit, he remained out of the public eye and didn't comment on the situation. In the roughly 5 years since then, however, a plethora of additional information has been made available. Several of Schneider's former co-workers and actors have come out with even stronger allegations against their iCarly producer, while the executive himself have publicly commented on the circumstances of his departure. The investigation found that Schneider was allegedly yelling and throwing tantrums, as well as sending angry emails and texts to child actors outside working hours. He is also allegedly asked for shoulder and neck messages. Addressing the accusations, the producer told the New York Times that he's never interacted with actors in any way, texting or otherwise, that should make anyone uncomfortable. He also called the controversy over the feet pics ridiculous and stated in the interview, "I couldn't and I wouldn't have the long-term friendship and continued loyalty from so many reputable people if I'd mistreated my actors of any age, especially minors." Even though every series he made contains shot of feet, we have a lot of media materials to examine by ourselves. Just look at all of this picture made behind the scenes. But also we have a video of Dan filming something on the set of Victorious. Here we see Ariana and Elizabeth having fun, but suddenly Elizabeth noticed Dan and gave a signal to Ariana. We can see how uncomfortable she is, trying to hide her body with her hair and clothes. Additional allegations contained within the reports paint a similar picture. Schneider claimed that if anyone he worked with over the years saw him as difficult, it was because of his high standards. The longtime producer admitted, however, that he may have been a little harsh at times. Over the years, I've grown up and matured as a producer. I'm sure I'm better and more gentle at communicating today. The New York Times spoke to people from Dan Schneider's past. Arthur Gradstein, who worked with Schneider's on 4 different shows, recalled the stresses of his partnership. Gradstein told the newspaper Schneider could be generous and validating, and it was exciting to be around his talent and passion for creating entertainment. But he was also unreasonably demanding, controlling, belittling, and vindictive, with a willful disregard. Writers on Schneider's series further said that they were made uncomfortable by the showrunners. Frequent sexualization of the child actors working on the show, such as pushing for them to wear revealing clothes and filling sequences that had sexual overtones. Other sources suggested that the executive verbally belittled women and disliked working with female writers. Recent years have been several former child stars on Dan Schneider's Nickelodeon shows speak out against the executive at the network. In 2022, former Zoe 101 star Alexa Nicholas alleged on an episode of Victoria Garrick's Real Pod that Schneider mandated that he present at every single one of her costume fittings for the show. Schneider would sit on the other side of the curtain as she changed, and he would request Polaroid portraits of her in her outfits from the wardrobe artist. Nicholas was 12 years old at the time. Nicholas also revealed that she left Zoe 101 due to her interactions with Schneider. "I got abused by Dan Schneider in an exec room. I quit the show because of Dan Schneider abuse." 16 years after her departure, Nicholas staged a protest outside of Nickelodeon's headquarters and formed a movement known as It Predators, which aims to assist survivors of child sexual abuse. Amanda Bynes, another star of his show, has been open about her struggles with drug use and addiction in recent years and has been especially vocal about using the prescription medication. In 2018, Bynes told Paper that her trouble with medication coincided with the filming of his show and explained that she was reading an article in a magazine that the medicine, so-called the skinny pill, and they were talking about how women were taking it to stay thin. I was like, well, I have to get my hands on that. The rumors say that Dan Schneider got Amanda Bynes pregnant, paid for her abortion, and that he molests all the teen girl stars, such as Victoria Justice, Miranda Cosgrove, in exchange for the lead role. There was also a rumor he was the one that got Jamie Lynn Spears pregnant, then gave her a pay raise to keep quiet. Another star who has ostensibly taken aim at Schneider in recent years is former iCarly cast member Janet McCarty. In 2022, the retired actress published her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, in which she describes serious abuses that occurred on the Nickelodeon set. The book refers McCarthy's experience with a figure known only as a creator, who is widely assumed to be Schneider. McCarthy alleged that the man pursued her into drinking while underage, took inappropriate photos of her, and so on. She is also alleges that she once declined a $300,000 offer by the network to not speak out publicly about the abuse she faced. While Schneider didn't specially mention the allegations, in the New York Times 2021 interview, he did note that his 2018 departure from Nickelodeon was due to things he had long ignored over the years. "I took a break to take care of a lot of stuff that I get go by the wayside for decades," he explained. The report found that a female writer called Jenny Kilgan, who worked on the Amanda show with Schneider, accused the show's production company of gender discrimination and hostile working conditions. 3 years after his departure from Nickelodeon, Dan Schneider told the New York Times he was all ready to return to work. He explained, "I don't want to be an old man someday and look it up and see some episodes of one of the shows I did and be disappointed in myself. Whatever I do next, I want it outdoor, what I've done in the past." Overall, Schneider reportedly holds no charges against Nickelodeon over his exit from the network, where he rose to fame. The showmaker said he ultimately wishes the channel the best on its future endeavors, including Miranda Cosgrove's iCarly reboot, airing on Paramount+.